In Lesson 113, you're going to be learning to find the perimeter. You will need your whiteboard marker, eraser, and math journal. Please remember to pause the video as needed and go ahead and complete the journal as I am in the video. Go ahead and on your whiteboard, you're going to number 1, 2, and 3 for the math warm-up. Go ahead and write answers only to these 3 multiplication problems. Pause the video. 6 times 9 is 54. 7 times 5 is 35. And 9 times 7 is 63. In the next unit, we'll be working on multiplication, so make sure that you're practicing them at home. All right, wipe off your whiteboard, number 1 to 3 again. This time we have extended facts. So think of 9 times 5, which is 45. And then you're going to add on 1 0 to the end of that. Go ahead and write the answer only for numbers 2 and 3. Pause the video and then write your answers only. 6 times 7 is 42 with 2 zeros, 4,200. 5 times 5 is 25 with 2 zeros to make it 2,500. Now, in number 3, our third one, we're going to go ahead and take the expanded form of each number and write it in standard form. So 3 in the thousands place, 7 in the hundreds, 4 in the tens, 9 in the ones. In standard form is 3,749. Would you please write the standard form for number 2 and number 3? Go ahead, pause the video, and write your answers. Number 2, 5,650. Number 3, 8 in the thousands, nothing in the hundreds, 3 in the tens, 6 in the ones, to get 8,036. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to journal page 32. Please open your journal page with me. Again, remember, pause this video as needed. So the math message at the top says, find the perimeter of the square. The perimeter is the distance around an object by adding up the length of each side. This is a square, so we know that all sides are the same length. They don't write that out, but they want you to remember that all sides are the same length. So in order to find the perimeter of the square, I would take 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 for each side. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 feet. How did I find the perimeter? I added all 4 sides, which was 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. Now, how do I know how many inches that is? Well, if you remember from a few lessons ago, there are 12 inches in each foot. So if I have 8 feet, I can do one of two things. I can add this 8 times. Okay, so if I was going to do this, this is 24, 24. Those two together is 24. Those two together are 24. So then, if it helps, you can add 24 4 times. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. Carry my 1. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 96. Another way to do this is if you know how to multiply 12 inches in a foot, 8 feet would be 96. We do want you to memorize your multiplication facts, not just through 10, but the 11 and 12s as well. How did I convert? I added 12 inches 8 times. Make sure you're filling out journal page 32. Continuing on with journal page 32, this is number 2. What is the perimeter? Well, I'm going to add together 15 plus 9, plus remember opposite sides are the same length. So this one would be 15 inches. And this would also be 9 inches. Opposite sides are the same length on a rectangle. So 15 and 15. And then just to make it a little easier, I'll add the 9 and 9 together over here. Go ahead and do this with me. 15 plus 15 is 30. 9 plus 9 is 18. I'm going to add those two numbers up. You have plenty of space over to the side to add those two numbers up. 0 plus 8 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. What is the perimeter? The perimeter is 48 inches. Now down at the bottom, it's asking you on number 2 to measure the lengths and widths of your journal and 2 other rectangular objects in your classroom. I'm going to go ahead and have you skip that one. Move on to journal page 33. They show us 3 different formulas. They all will get you to the correct perimeter. It's just a different way of looking at it. You can add the length plus the length plus the width plus the width. So in number 3, you could take the length, which is 3, plus the width, plus the length, plus the width. They add the 2 lengths together first, and then the 2 widths. Now what I would do is add up 3 and 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So the perimeter is 10 inches. Now another way to say that, go ahead and write down 10 inches for the perimeter. Another way, I'll do this one in yellow, is to take 2L just means 2 of the length, 2 times L plus 2 times W. So if I look at the length, we have 2 that are 24. So in order to figure out the perimeter, we take 2 times 24 plus 2 that are 18. 2 that are 18. And that would give me the perimeter or the distance around. 24 times 2 is the same thing as saying 24 plus 24. And 2 of 18 lengths is the same thing as 18 plus 18. If you add those all together, you can add them together on the side. 24 and 24 is 48. And 18 plus 18 is 36. Our final step is to add those two numbers together. 8 plus 6 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 is 8. One more way to do that, I'm going to go ahead and erase this for just a second. Sometimes you might see 2 times the length plus the width. So if I took the length plus the width and multiplied it by 2, that would give me the perimeter. And X just stands for the missing number. So if I add together 24 plus 18, 4 plus 8 is 12, carry my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and then I just double it or multiply it by 2. So those are just 3 ways to say the same thing. The easiest way probably to think of it is just add the length plus the width plus the length plus the width. Moving on, number 4. Jerry wants to build a rectangular vegetable garden with a fence around it. He wants the garden to be 8 feet long and 4 feet wide. Sketch, which means to draw his garden. Find the perimeter and show your work. So go ahead and draw 8 feet long, 4 feet wide. Go ahead and label that. Since it is a rectangular garden, we know that opposite sides are the same length. So if you'd like to go ahead and write the same length on the opposite side, you surely can. Now we're going to go ahead and add 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4. So 8 plus 8 plus 4 plus 4. 8 and 8 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8. 16 plus 8 is 24. Make sure you're doing this with me on journal page 33. Moonha's parents in number 5 are building a deck. A diagram is to the right. They want the perimeter to be 44 feet. One side must be 12 feet long. What is the measurement of the width? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I know that opposite sides are the same length. So I know that if I add those two sides together, so in the white space in your math journal, let's go ahead and add 12 plus 12. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we know that two sides are 24 feet. We know that the parents want this to be a total of 44. So the other two sides are going to be made up of what is left when I take 44 minus the 24 that we know the two lengths already are. So go ahead and write 44 minus 24. 4 minus 4 is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. So this side plus this side together has to equal 20. So if I take 20 and divide it into two equal sides, these must each be 10 feet. So 10 and 10 is 20. We know that 12 and 12 is 24. We now have a length of all four sides of the perimeter being 44 feet. And lastly, number 6. Draw a rectangle with a perimeter of 16 centimeters. Label the length of the sides. Well, we know it's a rectangle and not a square. We know that 4 numbers added together have to equal 16. This would be the length, the width, and the width. So let's go ahead and put a number on the side. Let's imagine that the length is 5 centimeters. Then the other length must be 5 centimeters. So 5 plus 5 is 10. If I subtract that from the total perimeter, I'm left with these two numbers equal 6. What two numbers added together that are the same, because these sides have to be the same, would equal 6? Well, let's take 6 and divide it in half. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So these sides must be 3 centimeters. Is there another way to do it? Absolutely. Now, let me go ahead and erase this. What if we know that the length plus the width has to equal 16 in this particular case? Length plus width. So instead of doing 5, let's say I would do 6 centimeters. Opposite sides are the same length. So if I took 6 plus 6, 6 plus 6 is 12. I'm going to subtract that from the total perimeter. I'm left with 2, meaning that, or 4, excuse me, meaning that these two sides must equal 4. So the only thing that would work would be 2 and 2. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14, plus 2 is 16. Go ahead and look into Schoology to see what you need to do next.